voicemail. You know, there you go. You're going to get me started already here, as usual. Here we go.
You know, I do have some perspective on that generation. I homeschooled my kids for a few years, and what I can tell you is it was hard work. When you've got them, you know, close quarters, the good, the bad, the ugly is all there. But what I came to realize is they want to connect with you, and we did some changes. You know, that time together, and maybe you can look back on COVID. Maybe you were living in a place that was severely locked down. I'd compare it much the same. It just that kind of forced to spend time, great lengths of time with family members. And we worked through a lot of stuff. And I really believe that we can do that, no matter what age you are. So I don't look at this young generation and say, oh, no, you know, we're going to fall apart. You know, it's never going to work. I think we need to really utilize mentors. And you have been a mentor to me, Greg. I have grown more through my mentorship with you than any other time in my life that I can think of. And, you know, I would probably say I was a handful. You know, I had, you're welcome. I like I said, we tell the truth. I was leaving Canada and coming to the USA because that's my story. I was like a wounded bird. I really had to recognize some of the patterns that just come from the culture that I was bringing from Canada to the USA, and that was a real eye-opener to me. Just that, you know, you'll find a lot of Canadians apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, and you don't even know what you're saying sorry for. It's almost a habitual practice. But where did that come from? You know, like, who introduced that to society, and how is that helping anything or anyone? But so many things. Just there's such a big difference between life in Canada and life in the USA. And the mainstream media, they don't tell you this kind of stuff. They don't do stories on the differences or, you know, what it really is like. The freedom that we have here in America is incredible. Everything changes, like your happiness, your stress levels. I mean, you go to the grocery store. That's one of the first things. Like in Canada, you will not find the competitive pricing on your food, even though we are paying a lot right now, thanks Joe Biden. But comparably speaking, in Canada, it's insane what's going on there. I mean, many people I know, they cannot afford any kind of meat. You know, the Canadian government is really laying the smack down, and they're starting on their propaganda campaigns to tell everyone to eat crickets. Eat crickets. Crickets are good for you. Going so far as to, like, mash them up. Greg, this is serious stuff. They're mashing. I watched this video. So they created cricket potato chips. They hired a camera crew, sent the camera crew into the elementary school, and fed little innocent children cricket chips and did a propaganda video to show, oh, how good do they taste? Do you like the crunch of the chips? And these little innocent kiddos are like, oh, yeah, they taste good. Then they take that video and they have you, the adult, uninformed parent, watch it. And they convince you, you know, you're saving the planet and blah, 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 whatever their narrative is of the day. You know, would that fly? Would that fly in your neighborhood if you found feeding them cricket chips? I don't think so. Americans have a backbone here. They stand up and they show up. I like that.